go that, like they point and they're like, go that way. And you just keep walking. And there's random cameras in the forest and you're just like, what is happening? It was the craziest experience ever.
Some people talk about growth, others step into environments that demand it. Today's guest is Rhoman Eyere, who is a creator, podcast host, and rising voice in the world of entertainment and reality-driven storytelling. As a co-host of the Swish List Pod, he has built a platform centered around real conversations, mindset, and life experiences. But he is also someone who puts himself to the test on a whole different level, appearing on the show Extracted, where the pressure is real, the conditions are intense, and who you are gets revealed very quickly. Welcome to Become the Victor, where we don't just talk about what someone went through, we talk about who they became because of it. Please welcome Rhoman Eyere.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
I appreciate it, brothers. So, brother, for anyone who is coming across who you are, what is your story before it led you up to the being on reality TV?
So just a local Utah kid, born and raised, small town in Utah. Love sports growing up. Younger child. I only have a younger sister. Tough little sibling. Oh, my connection is unstable. Did that come back? Am I good?
Yeah, you're good. You're perfect.
Good. Okay. Um, Sort of what my family's the tough love type of family. I had three older brothers, so it was tough love or nothing for me. Loved sports, loved basketball always growing up, so that's where I think I get a lot of my toughness from. And then yeah, we kind of stumbled up into this extracted thing, and it was a big opportunity for me to show that mental toughness, show that I can do hard things, and it ended up working out pretty well for us.
Wow, dude, that's incredible. So there's like four of you guys, right?
Yeah, so I have what do you mean four of us? Sorry, just to
So because
clarify.
you said you have three older brothers, right?
Yep, three older brothers and one younger sister. Yep.
Okay. So there's a total of five of you. And I'm very, very curious, because to go on a show such as Extracted and to develop that, one, not just so much the thought of like, oh, that'd be cool to be on TV, but to kind of have that sense of resilience to do it, to have that kind of mindset. Before you pursued Extracted and reality TV, what was a moment in your life where, you said you kind of had like that tough love and everything. What was a moment in your life where you kind of feel like you got that sense of empowerment, or where does that resiliency come from?
So there's a couple specific moments that I can point to. The earlier one was when I was in high school. My junior year, my family had decided that they were going to move away. And I was like, I'm not leaving my high school. Like, this is where I grew up. I plan on being here. So through some hard times, some hard conversations, I was like, I'm not going anywhere. So I moved in with my grandparents for a few months. And then I ended up moving with one of my best friends. And it was one of the most difficult things I've ever done. Moving away from family, like not having that set person, not having my mom, not having my entire family with me. It was a really difficult thing for me. And so from that moment on, I knew challenges are going to come up. Family, like the biggest thing to me, and I'm just going to have to deal with them and keep moving on. And then I graduated from high school, and it was the same thing. I wanted to go play college basketball, and I took the risk and decided to move to Colorado, a state that I had never been to, in a new location with brand new people. I went by myself, and so at that point, I was like, I can really push myself to limits and come out of it with a positive attitude, come out of it with good things rather than thinking of the negative that could possibly happen. Just only good things have come from me pushing myself and wanting to do new things, try new things. So that's when those are a couple examples of big things, big changes in life that kind of forced me to realize that I can do these things.
What was for someone else, in a similar circumstance, is what was how was that transition like to go from living with your parents to you wanting to stay in is it Utah, I'm assuming,
Yeah.
right? To stay in Utah and going from that transition from living with your family to now living with your grandparents. What was that what was that mental aspect like for you during that transition?
A complete shift because you're so used to these constants in your life. Like I always had my mother there in order to ask her whatever I needed, or I always had my space, my room to go to, my people, and all of that like close knit family group was just kind of ripped from me. And I love my grandparents; they are some of the greatest people in the world. But there's no place like home, and
Yeah.
it became a second home to me. But that wasn't home. So I think learning that I can adapt quickly. Anybody can adapt quickly. You just have to be willing to accept change and be positive about it. Like it was really difficult to do, but it was a good experience. I got to see what it's like to live with different people that I wasn't accustomed to, as close as it can be to family, but a little bit of a disconnect because they're not my parents. They didn't try and overparent me. They didn't try and, control what I was doing in life. So that was kind of my realization where I can grow up, I can do things on my own, I can have guidance and I can have people watching over me. But as a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, I decided I can do this on my own. I can live my own life. And from there, it just rose.
Yeah, dude, that's incredible. I'm very, very fascinated and curious about where does your sense of optimism come from? Because, going through that, obviously it was not so much just a transition, but I'm sure there was some maybe inner turmoil that kind of take place mentally, right? Navigating that process, you talk a lot about kind of having that optimism mindset. Where does that come from? Because some people who would be going through what it was you were going through could have had like a self-pity or kind of felt sorry for themselves and their circumstances. Like, where do you think your optimism comes from?
I think mainly my mom. She's the person who raised me into the young man that I am today, and she's taught me that it's not hard to be kind. It's really not. Like it's almost more difficult to be a rude person, to be a negative person, and it's just what do you get out of it? That's what I've learned in life. I feel like I have had trials. Everybody has their struggles, but why play the victim to that? Why use that as your opportunity to have any negative impact on you? We can all triumph and use our struggles to increase our life, to improve what we know. There's negativity in positivity. So it's really just a choice. Why not choose to stay positive about any possible situation? And of course, we're all human. There's going to be negative points. Everybody has their highs and lows. But I truly think just everybody has their own struggles in life. Some are more than others, but comparison even is the thief of joy. I've gone through hard things. You've gone through hard things. Everybody has. And you can choose to be the victim of your own story, and I choose not to be, and that's through a positive light.